chosen Taos as Canada's
Oh, fuck. Happy Thursday. Let's see if we can fly this thing. I flew it when it first came out. I have not really touched it since then. We're using chase plane, we're using St. Tensions. We're doing a bunch of stuff that may or may not work, so we'll just give it a shot. Let's see if my hardware still works. Well, that's encouraging. Ground power. Love the relay switches in the Airbuses. It's a very noisy cockpit when it starts up. Okay, while that is doing a self-test, chase plane. It's a new camera system for 2020. It's very nice. I very much like it. Let's see if I can get this one thing in here. Yes, I love how easy it is to import from other planes. It's so nice. Left side, rear view. EFB. Okay, so I did just reinstall this airplane, or rather there were some updates, so we're gonna have to do some setup in here, I think. RS align, we'll go with real, that's fine. We will have this linked. Rudder control tiller, no. That's all good. I'm mostly looking for the throttle setup. I will need to relink Navigraph charts, but I don't actually use them in the airplane, so I won't worry about it. Throttle calibration. Here we go. Okay. This is idle. This is climb. There's flex. And there's toga. So that should be good. Sound cabin options. I love the noise cancelling headphones. Engine takeoff whine. Yes, we want it. I don't care if it's realistic or not. We want to hear all the sounds. Audible thrust detent sounds. This is kind of a nice touch. Master volume, you have it turned all the way up because I think it's a very nice sounding aircraft. We won't do that. AP disconnection protection inhibits uncommanded autopilot disconnect when enabled. So we'll leave that on, even though I have read from people that it doesn't work. We will do a long haul, so we're not going to land this plane. I'm going to land this plane tomorrow. But Positudity, I'm using my Virtual Airlines Smart Cars software to do that, so we're not going to use this. We don't mess with time compression. Only bad things happen when you play with that. Okay. So I think we've got the airplane configured again. Let's flip a couple more switches here. We'll arm the emergency lights. We will align the nav, the IRSs. Oxygen will turn on. Get our nav lights on. That did nothing, did it? Oh, that's because they start on in this airplane. Okay. Fair enough. Good. IRSS in line in 6 minutes. This is actually a nice view to look at all the things. So, actually, we need to go, I think, back here. We want to load our flight plan from SimBrief, which I think we can do from here, but I don't think my... Oh, it is still set. Okay, I didn't have to redo that. So we are flying the A350-900. We are Fiji 2948, flying from Nadi International in Fiji to Vancouver International, my home airport in Canada. So we have imported that. Ground, I've not played around with any of this GSX stuff. It's probably fine, and it's kind of nice. Maybe we should try it. Let's request boarding. Let's try it. Okay, I can see our jetway is connecting. Oh, what's going on with this? I forget. Oh yeah, I think I need to get rid of these. And I also need to copy all of these to this. Oh, it still doesn't take me outside. I do want to board crew. How do I tell you? Okay, so here. No, we don't. That's actually kind of cool. So it happens in here. I hate the GSX menu, so this is not a bad little implementation. I am missing something though, because my one button still doesn't work, and that is the... Do I want spot view or chase view? No, I think I want spot view. Yes, that's the one I want. This is... I'm not doing this right, but it'll do for now. There's this weird little flicker that happens whenever you move, and I feel like that's not supposed to be like that, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Well, GSX stuff seems to be working pretty well. Let's see, is my screenshot working? Yes. And recording a little video. Yes, it is. Okay, so that's all happening, which is good. Let's go to our load sheet. I think if we do this, SimBrief import, loading fuel, fuel complete, loaded. Let me just double check. What are we showing? Fuel on board 158,900 pounds. That sounds about right, and that does match my actual SimBrief plan, so that is excellent. I like these little summary like shortcuts that they've added here. So while I'm not a huge fan of this EFB because it's just built into this, but it does probably look quite realistic and a little rudimentary. I do like what they've done with these. So there's all that information. Let me go and let's configure the aircraft now. We don't quite have IRSs yet, but we should be able to load the flight plan, and we'll do that while SimBrief does its thing. Okay, so good. My mouse movement does work again too. It didn't work in the previous flight for some reason. Chase plane has a couple of small glitches still, I think, or maybe it was me doing just too much. I'm not sure. Actually, let's reach out to Beyond say intentions. I've never done this. I really just want to get to the radios because I know the radios are still kind of wonky. I don't think they quite work yet, do they? Yeah, they don't quite work. So we'll go back here for the radios. I'm going to try it actually. I guess we are on ground, so that's actually okay. Ground Fiji 2948 is an Airbus A350-900. We are ready to copy our IFR clearance to Vancouver. Oh, okay. It just told me our radios appear to be turned off, which is correct. There is something that I forget. There we go. Now it's turned on. We want this on too, probably. No, we don't. So we want that where we can have the... Okay, let's try that again. Nadi ground, Fiji 2948, Airbus A350, looking to copy our IFR clearance to Vancouver. There we go. Okay, our IRSs are aligned. I don't even know how we got to the checklist, but maybe we might do that. Let's do that in a second. All right, information Gulf, we'll get that. We're clear to Vancouver via the Charlie departure, then as filed. Departure runway 27. We'll climb to 4,000 feet initially. Departure on 119.1. We'll squawk 1412, Fiji 2948. Okay. Let's actually do this. So we'll assume that we have done this. We've done the fuel takeoff data. Not sure exactly what that's supposed to be about. ADIRS, that's a good call. Let's check those. QNH is 1011. In fact, what we probably should do is we should go and just listen to the ATIS. Interesting. Interesting that they want us to use runway 27, which is pretty short. So I'm going to ask for runway 20, which is much longer. Runway 27 is only 6,692 feet. Only 2,000 meters. I don't know. All right, barrel refs, we've done that. Seatbelt signs are not on yet. Nope. There we go. ADIRS are nav. Doors are not yet closed. No, because we are waiting. Parking brake is currently set, so we're good with that. Beacon, we'll leave that. We're not actually ready to start yet. This is actually quite nice, the checklist. This is the first time I've looked at them. I don't know if they weren't there last time or maybe I just didn't look at them. But so we'll leave that open here. Actually, we'll switch to the serve page real quick. Did it automatically set our transponder? It did not. So let's just do that. We want 1412, and of course that doesn't work. Why does it not work? Do I have to type in this one? Okay, so we're good on that. Go back to the checklists. Let's download our company flight plan. So this will be our SimBrief plan. Can actually start our APU as well. Received flight plan. We'll insert that. That looks good. Let's check our departure. This is when we need to ask about the runway. So we'll do that here in a second. We'll just get the APU going. Excuse me. Nadi Ground, Fiji 2948 would like to request either runway 20 or runway 02 for departure as they are longer. Let's see how the AI does. Okay, we're not taking off yet, so that's a little bit wonky. But we'll go with runway 02. Actually, what is the wind? Yeah, no, 27 is fine. No, sorry, 20 is bad. Yeah, we want runway 02. It's the only good one that's long enough. Okay, so runway 02, Charlie departure. And we are doing the BIDNA transition. Insert that. Insert temp. We do have a manual there. I don't know why we would have a manual there. Oh, it doesn't actually connect. Okay, yeah, so we'll be flying vectors and then there. This discontinued I can delete though because this is just BIDNA and then BIDNA. So we'll leave the first one in. That looks good. Charlie. I do like I actually quite like this in the airplane. It's very modern. I do keep clicking on the wrong things though. Fuel and load. Are we still loading? Boarding is completed. Okay. All right, that's good. So I'm just going to look these up on the SimBrief OFP, though I could also have just checked that. So our zero fuel weight is 413.7. Why does it not want to take that? 413.7. Oh, did I miss the dot? 413 point? Is there no point? Did I not bind it? I did not bind it. How did I mess that up? We have a lot of time for this because I don't want to just sit at cruise for an hour. So let's have a look in SPAD here. It did set. Did they change it? MCDU 1 dot. Set it to 1. What do these other ones do? Huh. Strange that that isn't working. Okay. Actually, let's see if we get this on the EFB. Let's sync FMS, runway 02. That's our performance. Where do I get our... There it is. 28.2. 28 point, and again, the point isn't working for me. That's really annoying. 0.2. Block fuel, we already mentioned earlier, it was like 158.8. Let's just validate that that's what we show here. Yeah. Oh, it actually pulled it. 155. Okay, confirm block. Let me change it. 155. This is so annoying that I have to go down here for that. 0.8. Passengers, we have 315 passengers. Okay. Don't know what entries out of range. It must be one of the ones that I entered in earlier. I don't like how the message, like the latest error, just kind of stays there forever. Performance. So let's see. I don't recall if we can send this from the EFB. I think we might be able to. We can compute it. Yes, and we can send it. So flaps 1 plus F, 147, 149. Okay. We can send it to the FMS, which has now filled it in here. We confirm these takeoff speeds, flex 52. We are good to go. Okay. Destination, estimated fuel on board. Well, since we're in here, let me put in... So a lot of times that'll come up because it doesn't know what arrival we're flying into the destination. So let's just put that in and see if that helps us out with the fuel, because we don't really want to take off with not enough fuel on board if the system thinks we don't have enough fuel on board. So we are planning at this stage arrival runway 08 right. It'll be an ILS. There is no via for us. It'll be none. And the star, we are planning the Ragged 7. Can you scroll down on this yet? No, I did add this to something. So interesting. It has Ragged 6, not 7. I wonder if the charts are out of date, and I don't remember how to update them in here. Pekka transition. So we'll add that in. Insert. Still destination estimated fuel on board. It's just a bit lower than the airplane would like. It's still 9.1, 8.9, so we are still having some in there. We probably don't want to spend too much time sitting here though. So guess we'll go get ourselves on the roll here. Let's go and have a look. The APU is on. We can get rid of the ground power now. We can remove the chocks because the parking brakes are set. So we should now be able to actually call for push and start. Let's ask for it. Fiji 2948, ready for push and start. While we wait, we get the fuel pumps on. Push and start approved, facing west, Fiji 2948. So we've turned on the ignition. Let's go and call GSX for pushback. Looks like it's closing the door. This is actually pretty slick. You can see the jetway leaving. There are some nice... This is a great chase plane view. This runway. These ones are a little bit strange. It's kind of a nice view to see the pushback starting from here. Here comes the tug. Let's go back to our checklist real quick. This is not checklists. What's happened here? Very strange. So before start, the doors are now closed. Checklist complete. I don't know why it keeps going back to this screen. That seems like a bug. So after start, checklist will be next. Something popped up over here. We want the nose to face. They set west. That will be nose to our right. Parking brakes released. APU bleed, which I always forget. Ignition is on, starting the right engine. Did I do that right? Yep. Things are happening. This is a very strange pushback. What? GSX, what are you doing, man? Tani, Lani, and Kiri. I love it. AI passenger, AI cabin crew names. Right engine started, starting engine 1. So I actually want to adjust my cameras here a little bit. And this is the thing that is so much nicer about Chase Plane. I just want to go in here, I want to adjust this, and I want to just raise it up a little. Maybe pitch it up a little too. There we go. Save, back, done. Switch over to the Copilot one. That one's still lower. There we go. Park and brake set. You'll also notice there is camera shake for like just us sitting in the plane and it moving, which is really cool. Again, the view from the tower, we're way back there. Get a really nice view of the scenery. We can pan around. Ground texturing here isn't great, but okay, we want ground spoilers armed. That's done. Flaps moving. We want to do our auto brake. Did I not make one? I thought I made an auto brake thing. I have not yet done that. I think I had taken the screenshots though, right? Because isn't there... Oh no, auto brake is just that. After start, checklist. Let's go back to that for a second. Anti-ice as required. It's not needed. So we'll complete that checklist. I don't know why it keeps going back here. That's very strange. It's definitely a bug. It should be staying in the checklist menu. Before takeoff, flight control check. I'm just going to have a quick look. Full down, full up, full left, full right. And the rudder, full right, full left. That is our flight controls done. Flight instruments look good. Briefing, we are just going to fly vectors and then ATC will vector us to our first waypoint. We have input our V speeds. V1 is 147, VR is 149, I think, and V2 is 154. Squawk code is set, so we are all ready for takeoff. Runway will be 02. Cabin crew, I don't know how we advise them. Let's just assume packs as required. We should turn off the APU now. So our packs are good. And that is the before takeoff checklist complete. We'll do the dance through the drop downs here because this isn't working. We'll leave that up after landing checklist, after takeoff checklist rather. Okay. Now, let's taxi. Taxi lights on. Fiji 2948 ready for taxi to runway 02. So I want to change this and put it back to the menu here so we're not looking at the wrong stuff. We can leave the en route map up here because that looks kind of cool. All right. I do have the autopilot, sorry, the co-pilot handling the frequencies because it does make it a little bit easier. Especially because this airplane has some strange bugs around not being able to switch the frequencies through my hardware. All right, it still is complaining about the destination estimated fuel on board. It's 8.3. It keeps going down, but that's because we're just sitting on the ground. So hopefully we will arrive with enough fuel on board. I'll just have to tell you next week. So how's it look from outside? For some reason that seems backwards. I'm not used to it. So we're going to have to back taxi all the way down this thing. What is very nice about Chase Plane is the cinematic views that we'll look at later. And also it's very easy to like cycle through different camera angles, wing views, some engine views. This plane actually taxis really nicely. Thanks for the route on the route. I wonder who that is. Is that your new is that your new nickname? New account? I like it. Don't need the ignition on anymore either. Yeah, I like it, Groot. It's a good choice. This is one of the cinematic views. These are really nice once you're airborne and you're kind of just on a long haul and you're bored. You can just look at the plane. And I can still control the airplane from here, which you can't a lot of times with... I think in the default camera system you can't do it. With the drone cam, you can't control it anymore. So you'll notice the camera kind of moving a little bit in the cockpit as your head's moving around. That's one of the things Chase Plane does that I really like. The rest is fine. Like, it's easier to set up custom cameras for sure. It's more user friendly. You can set up way more of them. But one of the things that you just don't have in the other ones is this like bouncing effect of the first person view, which I think is really cool. Oh, what was our altitude? They told us 4,000 initially, right? 4,000 or 6,000? I think 4,000. That was something when I said I checked the flight instruments, I really should have noticed that I had not yet set an altitude. This must be, it's one of the smoothest taxiing experience out of all the planes I fly, I have to say. Don't know what it is, but it's really nice. goes where I want. It stops when I want. It doesn't like drift around. It's really cool. Fiji 2948. We're ready for departure. Runway 02. At least I think we are. Let's get the terrain on, traffic on. There's a big mountain there. So let's keep an eye on that. We're going to turn left. I never did look at that. Probably should have. It's a little worrying just looking at it. Probably should have taken the other runway. But it is what it is. We've committed now. Man flex. 52 auto thrusts at SRS. Runway auto thrust blue. All looking good. Oh boy, it does not want to go left, airplane. Why is it being so stubborn? I have full left rudder at the moment to just keep it on the runway here. V1 and rotate. All right, let's see if we can get it off the ground, and we should be able to clear that mountain. Positive rate. Gear up. We can just climb right over that mountain, I think. Yeah, we can try to avoid it, maybe. Leave her climb. Departure 119.1, Fiji 2948. Departure Fiji 2948, 2,000 feet for 4,000. Why did it change? What's going on here? The radials are so broken in this plane still. I can't get the stupid frequency changed. Oh, there she goes. Autopilot so that I can look at some of the cool views. So that was cleared direct. There we go. Let's see what we look like from the tower. We're way over there somewhere. It's a nice cockpit. I just like the look of it. 240. That is Chase plane. Yeah. Um, show you the actual UI. So this is how Chase plane looks. It has internal, external, and world views. You can make new ones for any of them, and then it has a cinematics mode. So pilot, co-pilot. Then it has just like the typical stuff. You got all the instrument things, the different views. Um, they're just way easier to edit or to assign keys. You can assign a shortcut. You can adjust it. You get this nice controls. You can zoom out a bit. You can, go up and down. You can just change it with the mouse if you want, and then you can save that view. You can make new ones. You can import ones from the community, so from like online. So these are all just other things that other people made. I actually haven't looked at. Let's look at the external ones. Attached drone. So you can then either import. You can also just preview it. That's cool. Right engine, left side, nose gear. And you can see there's quite a lot of them. So if I just import them, they're now in here, and I can put them, I can bind them to things, I can do anything with it. But the coolest thing is that once you get to, a certain altitude, and you don't really need to like sit inside the plane, you can go to the cinematics mode, which I have bound to a thing here. And it does this nice thing. It is way easier, Vern. I highly recommend getting it when it's out. I don't know why we're not following our... Oh, we are following a flight plan. It is very nice and cinematic. I have no idea what the autopilot is doing right now. I will admit to that. It seems to be having a little bit of a hard time trying to get on course here. I think it's getting there now. It's just a bit of a wobbly dupes here for some reason. Lateral discontinued. This is an old message. We'll clear that. Yeah, I will, Vern. Actually, yeah, I think I will. Except, actually, no, I won't. I won't be around tomorrow night. I have a dinner. It's the last one. Next Friday. So next week on Friday, I will be flying IFR again, IFR Fridays. And then, as usual, I will be doing them regularly again. But I have one more family thing happening tomorrow. So I will not be able to fly at all tomorrow, unfortunately. But the next time I will definitely do it. I guess we don't need the ground spoilers armed anymore. I miss it too, Vern. It's my Friday nights. I definitely miss it. So I look forward to getting back to it. There we go. That's the view I actually want on my ND. That's much better. So here's a great example. So I had actually imported, I tend to like to put a view like like this in here because it gives, for a stream especially, it gives a nice overview of the cockpit. So I imported this from my 777 because that's the other thing. You can you can import views, not just from the community, but from my other aircraft. And it'll actually say like, oh, this is a similar aircraft. So you can import them from other planes that you've already done. And you don't even have to import them and try it. Like you can preview them. So I had, now it doesn't always make sense maybe, but actually, yeah, this works. That's the EFB for the 777. There's obviously no EFB here in the A350, so it's not very useful. But some of these are really useful. Like I might want to import this view actually. Um, and then I can edit it. So I think I don't really like this one very much. So I'm going to delete this view. By the way, you can set things up like whether or not it's going to be like bouncy or not, and what kind of bounciness. You can put them in groups. You can assign buttons to groups then, which is really cool. So you just cycle through them. So for example, I have these wing views here, and I just have them on a button on my Stream Deck. So I can just cycle through all the different wing views with, I'm just pushing one button and I just cycle through them, you know, which is really nice. So anyways, I wanted to edit this one because I think it's not quite the right position. I think I wanted to go a little up and maybe zoom in a little bit. There we go. And you have really fine control over this, which is really cool. And I'm just going to save it. It's so much better than having to do Control Alt 1, Control Alt 3 or whatever. Much, much better. So now we are flying, we're leaving Fiji behind. Well, that's the other thing. So I do like having this left view in here, but I don't like it there. So I think I can just drag and I can change the sort order. So when I cycle through this, it goes in the order that I want. It's just a really, really nice tool. It backs everything up. It saves it right away. It has a good tutorial as to how it's done. And it's pretty easy. Our after takeoff checklist, Barrow set to standard. So that checklist is complete. Once again, this is bugged. So next checklist is approach. So we got a long way to go before that. But yeah, very happy with Chase Plane. I quite like it. They've had a couple of patches to it already. You can also, by the way, very easily turn it off, like disable it, and you get the old camera system back, which is what I need for the pop-up manager when I do that. So they've made it quite easy to switch it on and off. Just really slick. You can also bind Stream Deck buttons directly. Like I use spat.next to do it, but you don't have to. You can just do it with the Stream Deck directly, apparently. So very good product. I would say it's not out for 2024 yet, but they say it's going to be like a $2 upgrade fee or something at some point. So very minimal. We may run out of fuel on this flight. The estimated fuel on board at the destination keeps shrinking. Now it's 7.8 thousand, 7,800 pounds only. Oh, flyby. This is another cool view. The initial price, I think it's $42 or something. This is a cool flyby view. The best stuff about that is that I just pushed a button. I didn't have to come up with fancy camera angles. I didn't have to come up with smooth movements. When I'm in cruise, I can just put it in cinematic mode and I can just let it sit. And you can configure that too, by the way. You can set up in the preferences. Think the no, it's not in here. I keep forgetting. There's more to scroll down on these things, so you can set up the weight of the cameras, the cinematic mode, so you can set it to auto start. So in this case, like automatically enter it when they're flying above 5,000 feet. No mouse movement is detected after 15 minutes. So that's what I have it set to. And you can set the shot duration, like how long before it switched to the next view. You can also just assign it to a button though, so you can manually switch. It's very cool. Oh, your birthday next month. Yeah, that would be a good present to yourself. There's actually one of the pilots. I'll have to talk to him some more. I got try to get a chance to talk to Rod. He was going to offer up 2 gift cards for Chase Plane, like 2 gift purchases for Chase Plane to somehow raffle off to Canada Air pilots. So I'll have to look into that a bit more as to the best way to do that. But that would be really cool if we could offer that to a couple of folks. And while we're climbing, I'm just looking at this one thing in SPAT. I have one warning light on that shouldn't really be on. Okay, that's just a bug in SPAT where it didn't do it right. I didn't. Okay. But yeah, it's a very handy tool. And the biggest thing I found, I spent a lot of time setting it up for one plane and setting up all my buttons. But after that, I just copy it from one plane to the other and make very small tweaks. So it becomes very easy, which you couldn't really do with the default camera system. Yeah, I'm hoping to have a chat with Rod tomorrow. I'll probably ask him about that. This thing is climbing very slowly. I mean, it's a fairly long flight, but I don't think our fuel is even that full. Our fuel tanks. Yeah, it would be nice if we could do a little giveaway. So that would be cool. And it wouldn't even have to be that I think the way it works is because you buy it in the Parallel 42 store, it would be a gift card for the store. So somebody could even buy something else if they wanted to, because they sell a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and you're right, they're never quite the same from plane to plane. So this way of doing it made it so much easier. Like the fact that I could even it's really useful for like all the 737s, for example, because the cockpits are basically all the same. But with the old system, you had to redo it for the 738, the 736, the 737, the 739, the cargo versions you had to redo. Whereas with this, you could literally just copy the whole kit and caboodle over from one plane to the other, and boom, you're done in like 2 minutes. So this land on our right here is the last bit of land we're going to see until we reach Vancouver Island. Oh, wait, are we flying over Hawaii by chance? Not really. Flying near Hawaii, but we're not actually flying over Hawaii. Yeah, and it's just nice to have an actual interface where you see like a menu with the different camera names and angles and views. I don't know why Microsoft or Asobo didn't do something like that already. Like it doesn't seem. Again, it's one of the frustrations a little bit with Flight Simulator. It's like I'm really glad that third-party companies are making these great tools. I'm a little annoyed that I have to pay for them every time because I really feel like that should be core functionality of a good flight simulator. And I was doubly disappointed that again, I could kind of understand that it wasn't in 2020, but when Microsoft did nothing to make it any better in 24, arguably it made it worse in some cases. It's like, why wouldn't they have done that? And yes, obviously, yeah, it works. I mean, anything works with flow. You don't have to have flow. It can just be in the top bar. But I like my having my flow thing. The other thing I just noticed the other time is you can have a quit simulator button on flow, which saves a lot of time because I do mostly like I do one flight and then when I'm landed, I'm finished. So it makes it a lot easier than having to go to the back to the main menu, wait for that to load, and then exit. I can just click that button and get my day finished faster. But yeah, it's too bad that I can't fly tomorrow. I miss those Friday night flights, but that should be the last one that I miss. Ooh. Oh, it's hot. Is it tea? Thank you. It smells like a tea from like a Christmas market or something. I'll leave it here. We don't need to take it upstairs.
This is recycled, by the way.
Put it over there.
It has a recycle.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Try it. Try it.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the good news is the estimated fuel on board has gone up slightly. It went from 8.9 to 7.8, and now it's at 8.0. I will be happy to be back, Vern. Take care, Vern. Have a good night. Don't say that, Axeman. There's no birds up here. There's no birds at 32,000 feet, I hope. How are you doing tonight? Still climbing. It takes a good 35 minutes probably for this airplane to get from the ground to cruising altitude. Ah, noise canceling. Silence. Why doesn't that work? Still some weird glitches. I was able to change that yesterday. There we go. That's better. Oh, which Wolfenstein game are they giving away now? I mean, they're all good. Hmm. I remember playing that. It's a good one. I hate putting on glasses at times. They're constantly dirty, and I don't know how to ever not have them be dirty. It's just drives me crazy. Hello, screw it. Screw these glasses. What I'm thinking. It seems really difficult to get like good glass lens cleaner stuff that actually works and doesn't just make it worse. How's your evening so far, Mr. Screw It? I guess we can go in the cockpit for a little bit. That's good. Glad to hear that. Destination EFOB below minimums, but it's slowly going up. Interesting. The terrain here is just okay. Now it's watercolored. It was purple before. There's just a lot of nothing on the radar. Next waypoint is 325 nautical miles away. Unfortunately, the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 version of this airplane does not have a cabin. The 24 version has a really nice cabin, but this one does not. Traffic. The one thing that this has, I can't really show it to you now because there is no other planes here, but if there was actual planes from VATSIM or Say Intentions or anything else injected here, they would actually show up with their call sign and everything, flight number, flight ID. It's really neat, actually. 8.2 pounds of fuel remaining at the end of this now estimated. 6.6 now. It keeps jumping back and forth between 6.6 and 8.2. So obviously its calculation keeps adjusting. But they're both slowly going up. It was 7.8 before, now we're up to 8.2. And we still have a headwind. It would be nice if we get like a tailwind at some point, but let's make sure I don't forget this later. We're going to set smart cars to pause at top of descent. Screw it. I am flying to Vancouver, actually. We left what's it called? Nadi in oh, that's not the right one. I can actually show you on smart cars. If I can find us in the world, we're way down here. That's our flight plan. We left Nadi in Fiji. Right down here. This is actually kind of cool. I quite like this, the new map, the world map in Smart Cars 3. So we left right here. We had a nice departure, a big wobbly thing here to get back on the on vectors to get onto the route. You were going to LA? Don't worry about it, Axeman. Vancouver is better than LA. You'll thank me later. Flew past that island, and now we're not going to see hardly anything other than these little islands here for a very long time. I think we come somewhat close to Hawaii-ish. There's the islands of Hawaii. And we just keep going. If you really want to go to LA, you'll have to get off right around here and then swim over, you know, about, I don't know how much that is, maybe 1,500 miles or something like that. You know, a short little swim over. Otherwise, we'll gladly have you in Vancouver, Axeman. Yeah, just wingsuit. We're at 35,000 feet. You can probably glide 1,000 miles. Just like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. I take credit for this, by the way, up here, this flight in progress. I told them to do that because one of the issues we were working through with this new update was that everybody didn't figure out that a flight was going on. So now when a flight automatically starts, it takes you to this screen right away and it puts this at the top there. So really, you know that you're just like a flight is in progress. So I think it's gotten quite a bit better. I've noticed a lot less people having issues with their PyReps, so which is nice. If you hit a tree, that's probably the only way to slow down properly, Axeman. You just get down there. If you hit a tree, at least you'll know there's land, right? It's probably not the that's not the worst thing that could happen if you hit a tree. But I did not fly this plane for several weeks after it came out because I was really trying to finish all my A380 flights, and I still will do that. But this one's had a couple updates, and I just got the throttle quadrant levers for it yesterday, I think, or the day before. So I really wanted to try them out, and they're excellent as always. So I figured we'd do the A350 today, and then I'll probably go back to finishing off some A380 flights next week. The 350 is, I don't know, it looks sleeker. It's just nicer to look at of an airplane. I think. The A380, I love the four engines, but it just looks like such a brick on a brick with wings. It's hilarious. Have you done wingsuit flights, Axeman? In like I'm trying to think of where I would have done that. Ghost Recon or Far Cry, but this is the other one. That was like a mix of those. Blanking on the name. I'll get it in a second. Just Cause. That's the ones I was thinking of. The Just Cause series. There was lots of wingsuit type things, jumping out of stuff, blowing up things, strapping explosives to vehicles to send them through the sky and stuff. Just Cause. Several of those. Pretty sure that had wingsuits or some version of that way out there. Yeah, grapples and wingsuits, yeah. Way over the top, but really fun games. Saint beats Mercenaries. Yeah, kind of. using this Share X application, which is nice, but I don't really need it to make a sound when it... I like that it makes a sound when it takes the snapshot. I don't really need to make a sound when it's finished saving it or whatever. Ah, there we go. Perfect. This is a nice view. I quite like this camera angle too, which is slowly flying away from the camera. Up to 8.7 on the destination EFOB. We're gonna make it. Uh, Steve, no, I'm unfortunately not doing IFR Friday tomorrow. It'll be the last one I miss, though. I'll be back at it regularly next week, next Friday. But I have a dinner tomorrow. My brother-in-law is in town, so for the last day tomorrow. But hopefully this will be the last one that I miss for a while. I don't even know what flight is supposed to happen tomorrow, but I'm gonna be recycling it for whenever I'm back. I've missed three in a row, I think, and I definitely want to still fly those. So tomorrow will be Telluride. Telluride Dallas to K-Dal to KTEX. Yeah, so we'll probably do that one again in May. All three of these that I missed. Yeah, it should be a good flight. That's gonna be a nice one. I was talking to Vern earlier. He asked me the same thing, and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to miss it, unfortunately." But last one for a while. All right. Well, we've got 4 minutes left in the stream, and only 4,679 nautical miles to go. So for those of you that are not good at math, that means I'm not going to land the airplane on this stream. I'm going to land it tomorrow morning after a good night's sleep. And I hope you all have a good night's sleep as well. I'll give you 3 more minutes of cinematic mode, but I will be signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you come join me again next Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll probably be doing another flight of some sort because, as I've been saying, I've been missing a lot of my Friday night flights. So I've been making up for doing that on Thursdays. I will catch you all later. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, a good week. Take care.